were observant from what people were sharing, you realize that at least someone hinted about diversity, someone hinted about social, everything tries to come out in that. And that's what the practice would focus on. So this we already shared, and maybe just to highlight what I have here, soil and water conservation is looking at how we are keeping our soil healthy and also our water resources within our communities. So if we are not introducing in a lot of external chemicals into our environment, that means we are able to maintain the soil health in its natural form, and we are also able to maintain the water resources in their natural form, because we don't have any external inputs getting into the water resources, the swamps, the wells, the rivers around us. When we look at weed, pest, and disease management, this is where we are talking about making organic pesticides to help us minimize on some of these diseases and pests. And then when we talk about weeds, this is where mulching is coming in. Besides the major component we are looking at, if we are looking at mulching as a way of retaining soil moisture, reducing the runoff of water, it is also a very good practice for weed planting. Biogas production, we are actually looking at how best can we produce energy without bringing in the external inputs. We don't want to introduce external inputs into the natural environment. So can we use the resources that are around us to produce energy, but also the wastes that are coming out of this biogas, we are also introducing them again back. We are taking them back to the environment. In that way, the cycle keeps on going, so it becomes a sustainable system. Rainwater harvesting, that has been talked about by big two groups. Integration of animals on the farm, we talked about the free range, where we have animals introduced into our farms. Sometimes we do intercropping. We have the cover cropping, where we are introducing the cover crops into our farms. So components of diversity are coming in there. We have permaculture, which is basically what this photo is trying to explain to us. We have diversity being explained there on its own. We have bananas, we have pawpaws, we have pink cocoa is there. We have just so many things together. So this is going to contribute to food security. As you're harvesting your bananas, the pawpaws are getting ready. You have cocoa that you can sell as well and an income. You have vegetables, but if you clearly look into here, you will also find, you may not be able to notice it, but there is also some push and pull technology that is happening in the background. Also repel the pests and repel the pests. Agroforestry, someone already talked about it. The pits, just to control the water in our fields. How to control the runoff of water, we introduce pits into our fields to make sure water is at least conserved in a particular place for a longer time, especially if you're targeting different crops. You could introduce the pits maybe around your maize plant, cassava plants, banana, just introducing them around the crops, the various crops. They're also called, I think, half moon pits, some people call them that way. Compost, this is where we get to make the organic fertilizers, manure, We are bringing a lot of wastes from the animals, from our homes, from our household waste, and then animal waste, and also farm waste, and putting everything together to make the compost that we can later use to get the soil. So when we are looking at compost, how do we bring compost from the garden? After harvesting, let me give an example of maize. You don't just burn off the remains. You can use them to make actually compost, because if you already have your animals, you have the cow dung already available, or the chicken droppings, so it is easier for you to just put them together. Normally they advise that this kind of harvesting happens in the field so that you leave the wastes in the field, especially for crops like beans, soya beans, where we normally uproot everything and take it at home. After removing what we need, we burn the rest. But how about we leave it in the field? It will give us much more value there. And then biodiversity conservation, someone talked about it. Community seed banks are doing a very good role in conserving biodiversity, because this is where we are keeping the seeds that we want to continue with in nature. But it's not only done in community seed banks. Even in our fields, we are able to identify those neglected and unutilized species, and just conserve them on farm. We also have the fish rice farming. It's also good in the health of the water, promoting water health, because then you're not introducing in a lot of things, like you need to introducing more things for the fish. They're already feeding on what is coming out of the rice. Maybe the pests that come out of the rice, the fish is able to feed on it. But also the droppings of the fish are feeding the rice in that particular pot. Yeah, apiary farming, we all know we can't do agriculture without bees. So it's a very, very critical component of practice when it comes to agroecology. So now we have talked a lot about agroecology, and I know most of us will see some confusion that comes in between agroecology and industrial agriculture. So let's just get to understand briefly what comprises of industrial agriculture. So first, if we are to look at agroecology is looking at producing its best.
Yes, I just wanted to supplement on what I just talked about. Yes, on those practices. We could also say that the livestock farmers could be part of this as well, in a way that if the livestock farmers would also embrace rearing ducks on their farms, because the ducks help to keep the liver fruit from the farm. So in a way, in this, heat is controlling the liver fruit, and at the same time, the ducks are circulating the manure on the farm that helps the pasture. Then we will also say that the livestock farmers should also embrace rearing a reasonable number of sheep in their herds, because these two feed on different type of grass. So the fibrous one, which most cases is regarded as the wheat, the pasture is fed on by the sheep, and this gives a chance for this other improved pasture to sprout and grow.
Thank you so much for that addition. So, if we are to look at agroecology, it is more of a closed cycle. We are working with things within the environment. We don't go outside the environment. If it's planet Earth, we are working with natural things in planet Earth. We are not going to introduce something from Mars and bring it on Earth and expect it to work. So agroecology is producing its own inputs, right from fertilizers, animal feed, pesticides. All those inputs are coming from the farm, from one central place. You don't have to keep sourcing from different external sources. So we say it produces its own inputs, but it also manages its outputs. Goes back to what I explained on crop waste. We are using it to make manure. and also feeding it to the animals as well. So in that way, it is creating clean water systems, it is conserving and increasing biodiversity, it is increasing soil fertility, and it's promoting healthy ecosystem. So everything is feeding one another, no one is complaining. We have a very stable environment. But then, when it comes to industrial agriculture, because most of the times it is focusing on large scale production, you find that almost all of the components of agroecology, the elements and principles, are not taken into consideration. So in industrial agriculture, we are using a lot more of external inputs, things that are not on the farm. We are introducing a lot of external inputs on the farm, and it's promoting more monocropping because most of the times, if someone is doing maize production, sugarcane, tea, you cannot integrate it with other crops like beans. Yeah. Okay, for maize sometimes you can, but if you're looking at going large scale, it becomes quite challenging. You've seen farms where people are doing 50 acres of strictly soya beans, which is not feasible when it comes to agroecological concepts. So because of that monocropping, the soil is only getting to interact with maybe one crop, season in, season out. So with time it begins losing its fertility. Yeah, and then it requires regeneration, which in this case may not happen because someone is looking at commercial and then there are other shortcuts that are already available that people can easily take into consideration. By shortcuts, I mean the synthetic chemicals and fertilizers that we are always. So, industrial agriculture is also a way of producing food based on planting one crop, that's monoculture, and then it's bringing in a lot of external inputs, the chemicals, pests and fertilizers, because there is a need to boost production. We already know that over time the soil will begin depleting. So now people need to boost production, and that's when they get to introduce these external products into the farm. So industrial agriculture also involves the use of machinery, and most of the times the machinery that is more effective, it is that machinery that will need to use fuel. And what is fuel doing to the environment? There is a lot of pollution happening. It's also because it is using also some kinds of oils, you don't know, your farm is closer to a water source, so the leakage gets into the soil, and this filtration system, the oil ends up in the water. So in that way, our water resources are being destroyed as well. So among the key impacts that industrial agriculture has had on our environment is increasing climate change. Climate change impacts. We already discussed that because industrial agriculture is using more artificial inputs, there is need for production where massive production of chemicals is happening. We need more inputs. So the increasing production, we are using a lot of energy, and we do not have control measures to mitigate, to handle the pollution that is happening, all the kinds of emissions that are happening. So all these are contributing to climate change. And then declining soil fertility, which is also resulting from climate change impacts. Then there is also food wastage, because most of the times it's massive production. We end up producing and we have a surplus. Some of these products may not be as may not be as may not respond to the tastes of the consumers. So then that means less people will be consuming, and then there will be a surplus in the market, which is likely to go bad. And the process of disposing it off, this is where we are having greenhouse gas emissions happening and all that other stuff. So I'm trying to be brief because we already responded to most of these things. But if we have questions, we can bring them.
I want some clarity. So does it mean that agroecology doesn't encourage mechanization? Because one of its key principles is fairness. So look at a commercial farmer who is not going to, like in case of like when harvesting, has a very big plot of land. So it doesn't encourage mechanization. I think it can encourage it. It depends on the how you use it, like limitation, like not so much.
So you
Because for a commercial farmer, we want fairness because it's favoring more of the smallholder farmers. So how about the commercial farmer?
Okay, so if we look at mechanization and agroecology, remember we said we are weighing that impact. To what extent is the mechanization you're introducing affecting the environment, the natural environment? Remember we said it's a transitional process. So as we go on, of course, more innovations can come in. We could go into solar technology. Yeah.
Because when you're doing that, when you're tilling the land, the secondary tillage is mechanization.
Yeah, so with time, you get to realize that, okay, I'm overdoing this and it is causing this much impact on my environment where I'm getting all this. And then this is where the other innovations come in. Besides the practice, now we get into the science of research. How can we utilize solar energy to do mechanization in our farms? How can we substitute the fossil fuels with maybe solar energy or biogas energy? But it takes into consideration mechanization. It's just that to what level, it's you now weighing to what level is the mechanization affecting my soil.
Maybe to add on, normally when you talk about industrialized agriculture, Ugandans think that they have seen industrialized agriculture. Ugandans have not seen industrialized agriculture. So when I talk about industrialized, people are thinking about, hey, maybe this one has a tractor that is industrialized. No. When you travel to countries that have industrialized agriculture, one man is running a farm on 1,000 acres, sometimes without moving a finger. Without moving from where he is, but is running the entire farm. So the energy needed for such is what we are like you guys. We can solve this problem because that person is producing a lot of waste more than our form of agriculture that we are doing. So that I have to explain that because don't look at, let me say, your maize farmer who is the richest in the village, who has, let me say, 50 acres, 100 acres, operating with 4 tractors and what, and we now see the highest level of industrialized agriculture. No, it is lower. So if you saw the image that was presenting of a tractor that is doing everything and stuff like that, by the time they come out, and actually this one is now outdated. The current one that industrialized agriculture guys are using, when it comes here, by the time it's going off the farm, the corn and everything is staying there. Like now it's taking what? The seed, not seed. What is missing is only putting it in the machine to do code, to do or something, or what they want to do. So that is the level of industrialization. The much power needed for that is a lot. The other challenge with industrialization is, you see, every time when someone goes and buys, or government gives them 1,000 acres, and then they plant maize, ideally all maize farmers are being put out of business. You get what I mean? Everyone who has been producing maize there almost loses market. Or they end up becoming outgrowers of this work, of this big farm. That is also a problem. Because agriculture looks at also fighting the inequality itself. Yeah? The producers cannot be the poorest people. So that is key to that. So how much mechanization can I use on my farm? Truth be told, we need to find a solution to retire the hoe. Yeah? How do we retire the hoe? Because the production it does is may not be too big. Yeah? But we know that most of us will work with family farmers. Family farmers are people who are farming in the home as a what? As a family. They are working together, the father, son, and daughter, and all. So the level at which you use those machines, that's now the matter. Yeah? Opening the garden, stuff like that. If you say you're going to use the machines in everything, you have to do more. Isn't it? You get what I mean? Mm-hmm. You have to do more. Otherwise, there is no way you can manage without doing that. But also, we need to look at a process that benefits everyone, benefits all the farmers, then also benefits the market and all of them. So mechanization has its own levels and limitations in agriculture. Is it that agriculture is campaigning mechanization? No. The level. Okay. So if there's an harvesting technology that can harvest maize and leave out your beans, yeah, or can harvest beans and leave out your maize, or can harvest something because you have planted different crops in one garden. So that's how it is. But also agriculture looks at dividing the roles. Yeah. Mechanization, the problem with industrial agriculture, it looks at reducing the number of farmers. And you have heard some of the leaders say, in developed countries, you find when they only have 1,000 farmers, but those farmers are feeding the entire world. You get? Because those farmers, they are 100, but they are highly mechanized, highly industrialized. As I told you, a man that has a team of like 3 people can manage a big farm. And these days, they are working on robots. Robots to go and do most of the things. Okay. So if you did that in our villages right now, do you know how many people you have put out of business? So we need to look at this concept in a very broad way, yeah, and try to look at not affecting anyone in the ecosystem. Mechanization can be used in agriculture, but that is on limits in agriculture.
My question is
implementable steps can we undertake to maximize profits from agricultural practices on our farms that at least equivalent to the industrial agriculture? One aspect of the trendy market at the moment, or the demand available, that find that the international market and even the local market demands for these big macros chicken because of like those fast and also the weight in the market also matters. So finally, farmers as they talk about that they are facing a problem of demand. These products being like okay, the local products. Right now, I think people understand that. Now, we deal with local chicken. And then you find that in the market there, this local chicken, one chicken like this, it's 40K or 50K, but small in size, it has weight nothing. But then you find this exotic one, it has 3K, one that is 30K. Yes. So how you see that this local chicken, if they are sold like 10 of them, they are going to earn this farm 400. But if this one who is very sells the 10, is going to earn 8. So you find that this profit margin is okay from the local breed, right? So my question comes, that how can we extend this aspect from only like maybe the livestock aspect, the quality, and extend also to the international market, such that the farmers can keep it up to maximize these profits that they may have done or like obtained from the industrial market when they take on the agro or Asian markets. So the steps which we can take from awareness, what can we implement to address this?
I want to believe that the point that you talked about awareness is the first thing. We are believing that what we are doing right now, we are creating a movement. Yeah. That from here, there are people who are going to get to know about this concept through it. So the thing is about awareness. And then the narrative that the other form of agriculture produces a big thing, this form of agriculture produces small things. We also need to demystify that. Okay. For example, we have at ESOP we have done farmer field schools, yeah, where farmers decide to enhance a variety, to enhance it to maybe for groundnuts, increase the number of those nuts in the pods and stuff like that, enhancing them through participatory breeding. Yeah. So that means these things that we have that local cassava is small, what things like that. Those can also be enhanced through participatory breeding by farmers themselves. So the assumption that we have is that a local chicken, for it, it is like this, or this is like this. Any negative thing that we have currently on some of those things that we use under agroecology, there are technologies out there to help us enhance them. And these are technologies that work with nature, not against nature. Yeah. So the one thing that is affecting transition, Uganda has almost more than 40 mouths to feed each day. 40 million mouths to feed. Each one here needs food, but not everyone has this information we are talking about. Until all of us reach a point where you are conscious about where your food is coming from, that's when farmers are going to transition fully to that. And that is our role as actors who are here. How do we make consumers more conscious about the food they eat? How do we make them more conscious? If we make them more conscious, the farmer we are trying to talk about oh, this one has this challenge, this one has this challenge. Provided the sensitization is enough, that farmer will be able to transition. And this doesn't mean that there is no negative information out there. I know, I don't know if you have had a chance, if you have ever attended a training by the guys of science, when they're trying to show you statistics about hunger in the world, how we need innovation. You know, in Uganda, about 17% of people go hungry each day. That is because there is no food. You know, that's why we want to introduce this. Are we together? But we all know, sorry, we all know that the issue of hunger in Uganda is not about not having food. It's about food distribution. Do you know that this country has a lot of food? Karamoja can be struggling with food, yet in another region, maize has lost market to like 200, 300. And no one is buying it. So there is no way we can say we don't have food. So we have a problem of distribution of food. But you find other actors telling you, now this is why we need to go industrial. Because we need more food that the current food system is not producing, which is not true. Are you together? So as you're doing this, know that there are other people preparing false facts that one of our role is to fact check. To say, is this okay? Or it is not okay. So for us who are here, the mass that we're creating here, the biggest thing is I pray that we can understand it and this be able to create awareness. And actually, the farmers may not be the major target because the farmers are easy to convince provided you have made a case and tell them, you know what, if you do this, you're going to get this. But now if we're going to tell them and then they tell us, but this local maize does not produce the enough kilos this other maize is going to what? Is going to produce. Then we know where the problem is. That's where the science must come in. The science must come in to work with it. So if you work on the local maize, you don't change its name to now be called Longe 7. No. It retains this name with the revival of the traits that it had before you started working. So that's what I can say on that. But this is possible.
Yeah, and maybe also to feel that when it comes to the market, it's how you package your information. If you're taking out an organic product and you don't tell people that this is organic, definitely they're going to charge, they're going to sell it at a selling rate. So that way you don't benefit. So like you said, if it's a local variety that you're taking into the market, maintain its name and give it a story. For most of us, if we have been following the trends on social media, everyone is giving a story. When you go to beauty brands, they're giving a story. They have all these testimonies. So it's more of stories that are selling out. So how you package your product in the market also matters. Like most of us rarely read, but for you, if you're producing an organic product and the most visible part of your product is the word organic, I think it would attract attention. Like someone is like, what does this person mean by organic? So then you've given them that this is an organic product, it is produced maybe by farmers from this region, this is the benefit that comes with the product, maybe this is how it is contributing to environmental conservation. So also building a story to our products is very
Yes, I also just wanted to ask in response to this question. Like you talked about the local chicken versus the broiler chicken. Us as Kulika, we are doing what we call organic broiler production. What is organic broiler? You know, it's also very important for us to know. Many of us, even us, maybe some of us, we may think there is that word called genetically modified and also the cross what? Breeding. Many of us think that when you're talking about a broiler, when you're talking about these other improved crops, they think it's genetically what? Modified. And any farmer, if he finds out that this is genetically modified, those people who are sensitive of what they eat, they will automatically underrate it. So I think the same thing you say, the way the information that we know about products is very key. For example, for me, it's a broiler, yes, it grows faster, it was improved, but the one feeding it is the issue. Another person is using concentrates, some people are using the ARVs you get. But for me, I'm using the fish meal, I'm using that local formula. And the way it is growing and its product and the taste, you find out it's more or less, it's a broiler, but it's more or less like a local what? Chicken. And I'm able to sell it at the price which is higher than the one who has used what? The, the ARVs, the concentrates, and all those things. So, in other words, we need to look at what do we have, how can we improve it, how can it better serve in the context of agroecology, and it will be able to work out. Because all these things, unless they are genetically modified, they have is when they have issues and what you feed. But if they aren't genetically modified, they have just been improved, they are okay. But farmers, when they think of nuts or what, they think they are genetically what? Modified. And for you to convince that farmer, most especially those who are comparing organic products and also what, if they think about that, I think we need to create more awareness so people are able to differentiate on what is genetically modified and when it comes to this one which is improved, what should I do in relationship with the other farmer who is using the concentrates and whatever, so that I can come up with using the same product, but I've come up with something which is better than what the other person has produced, which is going to cause cancer and all the other things.
Okay. Still, in addition to awareness, we also need more. We also need to work more on the mindset change of people, because you can go with your tomatoes and you say this is organic and it's looking small. Then the other one is inorganic and it's looking big. Most days we go for that. I know for us women, we always running for the big one with easier to deal with and what, and yet we do not know that we are bringing a lot of things at home. So we need to work on the mindset of the people. Then also we need to consider quality instead of quantity. That is one of the things that you can pay a high amount of money for a quality product than to pay a small little money for a product that is looking too big. But also, we also need to ask ourselves at times, you go to buy a cabbage and then it's looking too big and you want to go for the other one because it's 500. And yet this one is looking small and the farmer is seeing it 500 also, and you ask yourself, okay? So sometimes we need to first ask ourselves, why is the other one 500 and this one 500? Maybe this one is organic. Let me first try to probe from this farmer. The farmer will tell you, I picked this direct from my farm. And the other one is telling you that, I got it from somewhere, you get. So it's all about mindset change and going for quality instead of quantity.
Yes, thank you so much. I also want to speak on something about this awareness. And also I want to pinch a bit this program we're handling. To me, I see handling a farmer might be much cheaper. But they want to first see from us. As you say that when you have a product, the content which is I think this is the thing which has challenged Uganda. Because yes, we can put the label, but what is inside does not concur with what we're talking about. For instance, I remember at the time I was working with the Women University and I took my student to one of the colleges in Uganda. I may not mention the name, but the college, which is for organic. But when I took my students there, when we are going for the process of research, what, do you know, they told me that, my friend, we are not organic. You can't manage organic. But the college for organic, I know it. But I took my student there the whole day, and that's what we are able to say. So I'm just calling upon that if in this program we can be having real farms or real members of ours that can be practicing the real thing. When you talk of organic, we can refer to maybe Vianney's farm. One product organic, we have where we can do the reference. And then we can also pick up from there. Or in this platform, if we can combine and we make a center where we can refer our product. So this one we know is making organic product, bring it here. We have a hub where we make that level. I think it would help us because we shall be sure of what we are selling out, not the names. Then also when we go back to the farmers, as we are going to create the awareness, we are going to talk about the impact of those other practices that cause harm. But when we are talking without workshops, you see like here, we are all comfortable here because the team of Tadeo and the rest, I think we must congratulate you. We have a t-shirt. We are looking uniform, we are very quiet. I was one time when I worked in Solo with the community. The first thing you gather them like this, what are you giving us? Where are the t-shirts? Where are the t-shirts? So we are talking about those products. Where are they? Where can I get it from? So this thing, to me, I'm too much challenged. It's challenging me, and I'm thinking, how can I do it? It is really good for the right of our people, but how can I do it in a perfect way and the way that they can adopt and they practice? So this call us, we have to start knowing who is it. My brother is talking, I'm very happy to talk of making some music. Can you make us know more after or even after the session? We know what to do. So that is for me, my side, that's what I'm seeing. But otherwise, we shall talk about it, we shall tell farmers, even others will ask you now, you are telling me to do, where is it? What can I do? So, you know, in agriculture, it's about practice. It's about showing, not by what. Thank you so much.
So I'll take the last two and then we'll move to the session. Thank you. I think this is a very good platform to discuss about agroecology, because if we are going to take it to our community, we must also be supported somewhere, somehow. Since you said one of its elements, or it's a movement, I would support it that if you're talking about agroecology, let's have a center where all the things can be found. Okay? A farmer will farm, but as you say, the prices are different. I've taken my chicken, it's good breed. Someone will want you to buy as is buying something player, maybe exotic breeds. So I think, like you said, let's have a market, a collection center. You know what? Those who are farming this house on this day, bring your all your items so that you can sell to them. I've seen it with Agroecology. I've seen it with people who are making organic lotions, organic Vaselines. They come together so that they can promote. So this thing is about promoting. As we are saying these things, we are talking them. It's hard to practice them on ground. But then how do we put the movement as ourselves? Let it begin with us, the farmers. From the farmers, then to another person, and then to the consumers.
Thank you. And the news of Henry. I'm glad to be here. And thank you. I want to just say something. I think farmers, first when I live with farmers, and I've seen farmers they are lacking exposure and hands-on. If you want to maybe improve this agroecology fruit, like fruit trials, or stages, some acreages, they are just located in some regions. That those farmers they can at least access and be trained that to get some hit out of the agricultural practices that we're talking about. Then everything is okay.
Thank you so much. I'm going to be that Annie.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so we are going into, I'm trying to check this one. Okay. So, we're going to go into agroecology as a movement, and the movement part of agroecology is key because of so the movement that we are looking at is not the movement. You know, in Uganda there is the movement. Yeah. The one that came to resist and stayed. The objective changed. The first objective was to resist, and then they resisted and stayed. So I don't know right now what they are still resisting, but yeah. But the good thing is hope. We have a new one. It's called what?
Yeah.
Okay, so agriculture as a movement looks at putting different stakeholders, yeah, into understanding this process, yeah, because now agriculture has players from farming, services like transport, to market, then to consumer. But these are controlled by policy. Yeah, all this process is controlled by policy, and then they are also controlled by other actors like media, like researchers. So, like governments and stuff like that. All these guys have a direct impact to the way we move from agriculture as a practice to all the other elements that we may want to focus on. Yeah? So, for that case, when we are talking about building a movement for agriculture, we are talking about bringing all these key actors together. Are we together? So, it may not be bringing them in one place. Like right now, we have youth leaders, we have youth professionals here. Yeah? Of course, we are all consumers, but we may not be having all these people represented here. You get my point? So, for us, the agriculture movement is an organized effort by a large group of stakeholders to achieve a goal of promoting the upscaling of agriculture and release and resist the promotion of industrialized system. You see, there are new things that happen in this country, and we consider them like very, very nice things, like the supermarket economy. You know what the supermarket economy is? Do you know how people feel proud when they shop from supermarket? You go and you buy something and you come back and you really feel like you wanted everyone to see the bill.
Yes.
And if you went to the counter and then the lady said, no, we have run out of bill, use this black camera, you feel like, ah! How will they know that I was from here? So all those things, people are using media to play with our mind. You just create an impression that if you have done this, do you know why all of us, whether you're broke or what, you feel like, let me say, going to KFC and you eat something, and the day you eat that, you never take your photo when you are at Mama Good. At Mama Good, you don't take what? Your photo. You eat and disappear. But the day you go to KFC, from the time you enter, the camera is showing your feet. Then it turns like this, it shows you. Then you sit. Before you order, you show people the menu. For them to confirm that you're being there. All that you're doing is media. Media is the one that has convinced your mind that at this level, you have reached. Okay. So that is happening all through. At SF Uganda, we have what we call the Agriculture School for Journalists and Communicators. The main objective of this school is to talk to journalists and tell them, you have a role on people's mind. Please don't use that role negatively. So we also take them through agriculture for journalists and communicators. Because we understand the role of media. Most of the things we love is because the media has told you that. Someone through the media told you, you listen, finger licking chicken. You're like, wow, what is that? Finger. Just going to keep going. So that's what they call the industrialized system. I don't know if it's still like that, but you know, I'm just using KFC as an example. There was a story that they don't use local Irish because our Irish is not long enough. It's not long enough, so we have to import from South Africa. I read somewhere the Kenyans were campaigning that. They were like, no, you must buy from us. Industrialized food system. That now your food security is in the pocket, and whether it's in your pocket and you want to eat something, you cannot eat it because the supermarket cannot provide it. You know that these days we get filet from supermarket.
Yeah, we don't eat
Hey, those days, but now. When is bought now from the supermarket. So you look at that. And transition takes process. Transition doesn't happen at once. There's a process. You capture one person, you capture the next, you capture the next, like that. So the reason why we need to build a movement is because we need to change all these actors in the market, actors here, actors here, actors here, to promote what? Agroecology. How do we do that? I will not promise you that at the end of this year you would have got it. No. It is one step. Now, right now, I'm sure here we are performing very well. With the farmers, we are performing very well. Politicians, we know them. If I had got a politician here, he would have said agroecology is good. Then when he goes there, he says, this is what we need. Yeah? Politicians are pretty people. We have a course we are designing for them. We want to design for them a course and bring them one day. I will tell them, you guys, here, let us now talk. Because when we invite them only opening, closing, they say the same thing. This is this organization is doing a very nice thing. This is where we need to go. You see, for me, so if you don't do that, the market, farmers are being asked to prove that it's organic. And that is also an opportunity for us as young people. How can we innovate to support farmers to prove that their food is organic? Well, what should we do as young leaders? Yeah? The consumers, we have talked about them. The transporters, let me say, for example, transport extension. You know there are certain extension people who don't believe in organic agriculture. You see how the role is still big. For us, we run what we call the community agroecology schools in communities. In those schools, the community agroecology school can bring an extension person, and then extension person tells them, this doesn't work. And then the school members turn to be lecturers to the extension person. And says, for us, we do like this and this. You get it? And then the extension says, no, this is not approved. This is not approved. Where is the evidence? Not approved. All together. But also that comes from the policies, from the education system, all together, and all that. So we still have a role to play in all these places. So the movement is to bring together individuals and organizations, and I'm happy about what YPARD is doing and bringing all of you together here. And for me personally, I would think that we would end up putting together like a session around the organization that focuses on promoting agroecology. And we look at how we can build that and get more people on board. So I know you guys have met some of these guys. At global level, we have Labaya Campesina. ESAF is part of Labaya Campesina. We have grain. At continental level, we have AFSA. I don't know if any of you have heard about AFSA. Alliance of Food Sovereignty in Africa. They are very big in promoting agroecology in the region. We have ESAF at the regional level. ESAF has the region and the Uganda chapter. We have ESAF at the regional level. We have ESAF, we have Belam. I don't know if you have heard about Belam, Slow Food. Kolika is also part of this. There are very many organizations out there that are promoting agroecology. And that is an opportunity for us. How do we engage with this organization? Yeah? after this year, he's organizing a youth symposium. I don't know the name very well, but it's a youth symposium on agroecology. A meeting bringing together continental young people to discuss agroecology. And those are some of the opportunities young people have. Okay. The one who had the hand up. Okay, go ahead.
You mentioned transport. It always says good to see those vehicles from Western route, where they transport chicken to the city. How do we handle this sort of?
Actually, by law, it's illegal. But by the power of the pocket, it's acceptable. By law, it is legal. And I used to think I'm the only one who is saddened by that, but I look at that thing, I'm like, oh my God. Okay, I know they are going to be eaten, but at least take them to the slaughterhouse respectively. Yeah? Respect them as you take them to the slaughterhouse. And by the way, there's improvement. About 10 years ago, the way they used to transport cows was different from the way they transport them right now. Those days they used to transport them very badly. By the time a cow reaches here, it's so tired. Like they used to tie them, but now these days you find when they have just put them inside there and they are, you know. So there's a bit of improvement, and that actually took a campaign. There are people who came up and said you cannot transport these animals. Yeah, so you're right. I think we need to continue that campaign of saying, please respect animal rights. Yeah.
You were talking of some county extension officers. You didn't get about agroecology. Like, for example, in the second border, I forget an identity. Extension officer should be registered. Should register those agroecology dealers who are certified. Now, the challenge we face, this agroecological movement, they are not certified. So, there is no way you can register them when they are not certified in order to get around in our sub-counties.
Yeah.
So, government policy. And also on this issue of transportation of animals, we mind about animal welfare, but sometimes some issues are beyond us. For example, last month, my friend who works in Mukolo, that she saw the animals were being transported in a human way. When she spoke to the guy came out with a pistol. Now you have a vegetarian officer and the other has a pistol. So our work was just to report to the DPO and share to the country. So some things are beyond us. So some situations are beyond us as important as animal welfare.
Yeah, that's true. In some countries like ours, there are sometimes when some people are above the law. Yeah. But it normally doesn't last for long. But there's sometimes when there are some people who are above the law. But I think I'm glad that we have veterinary officers who are aware about that, and they are doing their role to kind of make sure that those laws are respected. Yeah, but of course, I know even people who, when they want to transport logs, I'm told you can go to a barracks and get someone to just sit in front. Someone sits in front, just to sit in front to escort you. When they sit in front there, a police person sees the uniform on the other side.
And also, so the Animal Welfare Act we are implementing right now is outdated. It was in 1957. So now you see things have changed. So the police makers.
Yeah, the policy issue is still a problem, but also what you have said about certifying organic or agricultural input dealers, the challenge is the law itself. Not like right now, we have like the chemical committee, the what, there are different things, but there's no committee there that is focusing on agricultural products. You get. So it goes back into policy issues. Yeah. So because of time, we were supposed to have this discussion, but we're not going to have it. So, but should be thinking about it. How can we build a youth-led movement for agriculture in Uganda? All of us here, what are they? And this is a challenge to us because when youth lead processes, they normally come out with good results. So the question to us is, how can we build a youth-led movement for agriculture in Uganda? So the last thing that we are going to discuss and go to the test and close is agricultural challenges and opportunities. So, agriculture, just like we have been discussing right here, there are challenges out there. Yeah, there are challenges that we are facing. There are challenges that we are likely to face, but also there are opportunities that we think can be there. So, what challenges do you foresee in upscaling agriculture? And then number two is, what opportunities do you foresee for youth in agriculture? We're supposed to discuss that as well. So what we're going to do is we are going to do it openly here. We can talk about two of them. Are there any challenges that we foresee, or are there any opportunities that we see for us as youth in agriculture? I know challenges are easy to get, opportunities may be the tricky one. You know, if you ask someone, tell me your challenges you're having, the list becomes long.
The first challenge is on stakeholders and they are not willing to cooperate. Then the opportunity is in science, like being in research.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes.
It is the challenge of the information dissemination, create awareness about this. People are out there, people are very aware. They can't differentiate between
Anyone else? Yes.
Yes, let me facilitate that. It's access to social media. It's an opportunity for us to expand. Then the challenge of key, the degree of acceptability or information disseminated to the farmers. Because most of them, they have that insight of the youth being in terms of knowledge. what we tell them to do, as for them, they have taken long in their agriculture.
Yeah, they have experience. Yes.
The challenge, for example, in case of improved technological advancement, there will be more technologies that will come in, which will bring lead people to being agroecology and look for those technological advancements. Then it will also be an opportunity. There is a scientific discovery in agroecology that could lead to, that could enhance more of agroecology. So a scientific development in agroecology. However, it can also be a challenge if it's not in line with agroecology.
Yeah. In some countries, they are discussing how to recycle paper to produce meat, paper and plastic to produce meat, so that we save the earth. Yes.
Yes, this is a very big challenge. Challenge of standards. Actually, we are facing this challenge. The UNDS doesn't have like standards for organic products. Actually, we are working on a preservative, fruits and vegetables, but we can't get certification because UNDS doesn't have a standard where our product falls into. And that's a chance of this.
Yeah.
What you would say?
Yes.
Young people can, they can embrace entrepreneurship opportunities in agriculture. For example, like now we said about agroecology units. That's still a challenge. So if someone can go to do that and be able to take that solution,
on the challenge, we still have the challenge of convincing the people that agroecological products are profitable for the use, and also the market. It's still a big challenge, and that calls for us to brainstorm and decide more on how best we can make it more profitable and get markets for the products. And then on the opportunities, there are many donors. There are many donor organizations that are interested in funding youth. The only challenge in there is that we need to seek for that information. Maybe the information is not among the youth. And the youth in this era being more of digitalization, and most youth have at least one or two social media platforms. It is an opportunity to share the information on agroecology and also learn more about agroecology.
Okay. Thank you.
Another challenge, for example, when it comes to organic pesticides, it is so hard to convince a farmer that, for example, for potato blight disease, so it is going to be hard for you to convince someone not to apply a specific fungicide that is well known to control potato blight to another substitute that is an inorganic pesticide unless they use it for some period of time and it works. So it's kind of hard.
That's why we need to develop proof. That's why we need to develop proof. And then there are very many challenges out there. Like one of them that I normally get a lot is the fake organic inputs. I don't know if you have seen them. You see, organic inputs are not yet, I think most of them are not yet certified, except those that we import. Yeah, the ones that we import that are already certified from a particular country, and we claim them. But you find when a farmer is saying, I got this organic fertilizer, we told the word organic, UNBS, all those things, all those nice logos are there. But the farmer says, you see, even it's approved. And you go, no. It is not. Yeah? But when you smell the bottle like this, you can actually feel the chemical in the bottle. Yeah? But there's a lot of misinformation out there. And some of that misinformation is being made by the people farmers trust. You know, farmers trust people. If you're an extension person, a farmer will trust you. If you're working for a farmers organization, a farmer will trust you. So whatever you say, they will do what? They will follow. So that's how farmers are being what? Are being misled. So other challenges, the myth that agroecology is labor intensive and results take time. It is a myth because we have proven where there are other countries where someone is an organic farmer, but they may not be making anything on their farm. But because in the community there is someone who is making fertilizers and whatever, they go and take from there, then they use on what? On their farm. So then the mindset of communities, the climate impacts are induced by human activities, and most farmers rely completely on artificial inputs, which make convincing them to transition very difficult. There are farmers in communities who have benefited a lot from being one person and weeding the entire acre without hiring anyone. Now you're telling me, weed master is bad. Are you sure? Yeah, the no support from media. I've talked about this. Media, we have worked with journalists who tell us, that one is our biggest advertiser. I cannot write a story. I'm the same person. Yeah, so that story dies like that. It never sees the day of life. Most agriculture experts, such as the extension workers, are equipped with knowledge of convention. Now, our education system equips most extension people with conventional agriculture. And then now we reach there and you are saying there is this, and that's why we are also working with universities who have courses on organic agriculture. If it's not an independent course, we are looking at how to put a component in the different courses, the modules, or a comprehensive module on agriculture. There is little investment allocated. This one is our biggest problem. Yeah. If you check money, even funders, agriculture can be given $50,000 US. Convention is given $2 million US. And the convention guys ask you, where is the proof? Where is the proof? But you have 50,000. What can you do with 50,000? Okay. Then young farmers are valued in agriculture. Now that one, farmers are like, for me, every young farmer is saying they want to come in here. So I'm wondering who is going to do what they are going to do. Yeah? Because there's more money in this value chain than here. Here there's a lot of money. Yeah? So, and that goes back to the exploitative nature of market, what I discussed in the morning. The exploitative nature of our market system. Okay. What are some of the opportunities? Farming and business, this one we have talked about it. There are a lot of entrepreneurial opportunities in agriculture. The chain is just too long. So, and that's why I like what some organizations are doing in terms of like Yalta, I don't know if you've heard about them, working with young people and turning their ideas into business. That is very good. At ESAF, we're also running the Agroecology Business Hub that looks at building business capacity of farmers. So creating opportunities in agroecology is going to be creating entrepreneurial opportunities in agroecology is going to be a very big game changer in upscaling agriculture. Training and skilling, this one I've talked about it, where we need to retrain extension service providers if the ministry allows, and then skilling more people who understand this concept. people who engage with the farmers down there. Policy influencing, this is key. I've just learned about the bill of 1957, and we are still implementing here right now. Yeah. So the policy right now with PENAM and other actors, we are doing the national or PENAM MAIF and other actors. We are doing the national agroecology strategy. We are doing influencing around extension. How extension is supposed to be delivered. So there's quite a lot of work going around agroecology or around policy influencing. So here is an area where youth and where I'm challenging most of you here to pick interest. Yeah, when it comes to policy influencing. Then research. They are always asking, where is the data? You know, this one, you apply it to, and then you see, in 4 months, it will be done. This thing can be kept for 5 years. Then, okay, you have never kept it for 5 years? No, my grandfather told me. My grandfather told me you can keep it for 5 years. So someone is like, okay, is that automatic now that it goes to 5 years? So we need to look at that research. So we need to work with research entities and make sure that we are having internal discussions that yes, NARO is doing research on improved varieties and all that. What can we do with NARO to do research on organic and agroecological things? How to get it? If we get the funds, can we be able to work with NARO together? So those are the things we need to look at. Thank you very much. Because of time, I don't want to take any questions. So, please answer the test questions correctly. Are we ready? You're not sending them via mail. Pardon?
Media. We are practicing media.
Yeah. The questions are on paper. You write your name there very well.
Yes.